Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is awakening. It's our Wednesday night. Well, it's our reading through the Tanak all night, the 3rd of January, 2024. Okay, we'll be reading out of the book of Hosea. You can go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening. We have like 600, 700 videos that you can scroll through. It's a lot of information given, and these videos will connect dots for you. You're seeking the truth of the Holy Scriptures. I'm asking you to, if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Okay? And for those who want to support the channel, you can check out our Cash App at the bottom of the screen. Okay? We got my hours of operation on Tuesday nights. We have Advanced Bible Study, which is from 8 to 10 Central Time. Then we have Wednesday nights is reading through the Tanak. That's from 8 to 10 Central Time. And we have our Women's Advanced Bible Study on Thursday nights. That's from 8 to 10. And it's then Friday nights we have our Men's Advanced Bible Study, but it's on our Clubhouse channel, which is non-Messianic channels on Clubhouse. Then we come back on Saturdays and we do 2 Shabbat classes. We do a morning Shabbat class from 10 to 12 a.m. Central Time. Then we come back and close out the Shabbat at 6 to 7 Central Time. Okay, so with that being said, this is a non-Messianic channel, and by that, we deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance. The Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by the Lord of Hosts. Shalom and welcome to the channel, and welcome to our reading through the Tanakh segment. Okay, we're gonna do our normal, which is a moment of silence, a prayer, Psalms. We've got some current events, and then we've got some need to know information, and then we'll go to our Q&A. If anybody have any questions or comments about anything, and then we'll go into our topic for discussion, which is we'll be reading out of the book of Hosea, and then we'll close out. Okay. So with that being said, this moment of silence is for the Lord of Hosts and Yahweh, our Creator, and all that they're doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Okay. Oh Lord, we come this day, bow down, honoring you, praising you, and believing in you. We thank you for your wisdom and the knowledge that you have poured out upon us through your prophets. You have revealed the times that we as Jacob's children would endure. Keep us, O Lord, and guide us and deliver us in these last days. We see you now within the Holy Scriptures, O Lord, and we trust in you with all our hearts and all our soul. Keep not that silence any longer, but shine forth on our enemies with that great power and our glory. Peace be unto you. Okay. But with that being said, we'll read the Psalms. Okay. 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 We read Psalm 67. It said, let all the people praise thee. God be merciful on us and bless us and cause his face to shine upon us, Selah, that thy way may be known upon the earth, thy saving help among all nations. Let the people praise thee, O God, and let all the people praise thee. O let the nations be glad and sing for joy, for thou shalt judge the people righteously and govern the nations upon earth, Selah. Let the people praise thee, O God, and let all the people praise thee. Then shall the earth yield her increase, and God, even our God, our own God, shall bless us. Okay, God shall bless us and all the ends of the earth shall fear him. So that was Psalm 67. Let all the people praise thee. Okay. So with that being said, we'll go into our current events. Okay.
So that time has finally come. U.S. officials have told us for many months to expect the worst. Expect threats and attacks here on U.S. soil. Well, guess what? It is now coming. We are now starting to get more reports, more updates, and more threats. Here on you, I'm going to break down what's going on and how there were 5 states that were impacted just today. Just today. That is huge. So I'm going to break that down in just a moment. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button, and let's begin. Now, it is no secret the United States has many problems. We have a border crisis. We have an issue with Russia and Ukraine. We are now kind of supporting Israel as they're still attacking Hamas in Gaza. There's conflicts with Iran and other countries in the Middle East. Right? The list goes on and on. But something happened today that impacted 5 states, and actually 5 state capitals. 5 state capitals were evacuated after bomb threats. Yeah, 5, all today. This morning, 5 states, their state capitals had to be evacuated simply because of bomb threats. Now, the states included Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi, Montana, and Connecticut. Okay, those are the 5 states. Now, here's the problem. And this is something that law enforcement has said that we are going to continue to find these and have to investigate these different threats. Some are going to be credible, some will be non-credible, but they have to investigate them. Here's the problem. Right now, the United States is hitting new records. We're hitting new records with the amount of illegal immigrants entering into the United States. We had over 300,000 just in December alone. But there's something else that we're hitting a record on, and we're going to touch on that in just a moment. But it has to do with what is coming on January 19th. On January 19th, the U.S. federal government will shut down unless they get an extension of the government funding bill. That is something that Congress is going to start working on this coming week. But there's not some people are concerned that they aren't going to be able to come up with an agreement. They won't be able to negotiate a deal. Well, this is why. Because now we know the U.S. national debt has surpassed $34 trillion for the first time. It just happened today. And I want to show you how quickly this is going up. Just look at this right here. This is the U.S. debt clock. You can see over here on the left-hand side, this is the U.S. national debt, over $34 trillion. Okay, $34 trillion. That is $100,000 per citizen or $264,000 per taxpayer. That's a lot of money. And that is something that lawmakers are looking at. Well, what is coming up? Well, here's the problem. Lawmakers are going to look at this growing debt number, and they're going to see that, and they're going to be really concerned. Well, here's the problem. Right now, there are a lot of discussions of seeing cuts, especially now that President Biden just last week signed an executive order that is going to give federal workers a 5.2% pay raise. That's a pretty substantial raise. Well, they're going to get that 5.2%. That's already locked in. Well, the problem is now Congress has to figure out a way to include that 5.2% increase of pay into that government funding bill, which has a cap of $1.59 trillion. That's going to be difficult to do. And so what we're hearing from lawmakers is that they're going to have to make cuts elsewhere. Some of those cuts could be to things like local law enforcement, potentially the FBI, Homeland Security, could be the Social Security Administration, SNAP benefits, housing, schools. The list goes on and on. Well, look Get this. Just the other day, it says FBI and local law enforcement are investigating a non-credible threat against Central Oregon schools. Now, why would we even bring that up? That's not it was non-credible. Here's the reason why. If we see a decrease to law enforcement, doesn't matter if it's FBI, Homeland Security, local law enforcement, doesn't matter. If we see a decrease in numbers, guess what? Some of these threats against schools, against our state capitals, like what happened today, right? Some of these threats are going to go uninvestigated. We are not going to be able to investigate them because we do not have the numbers. Think about that for a second. This is why officials believe 2024 will be the year of threats against the United States. This is including non-credible bomb threats like we saw today. Good news is these buildings, these state capitals were swept. There was no evidence of a bomb. There's no threat whatsoever. So after an hour or so, everybody got to come back in, and the evacuation was lifted. Okay. Well, there's still threats against U.S. troops abroad and here on U.S. soil. There's still threats against U.S. embassies. We've seen this before, right? I don't know if you remember this one, but this was back on October 25th. It says threats made on social media against U.S. military bases in Kuwait, right? But also on embassies. This was issued by the U.S. Embassy in Kuwait. Guess what? There's a threat to the U.S. Embassy in Kuwait as well, right? The threats don't stop. And then on top of that, this year we have a presidential election. Some are saying this will be the most controversial election we have ever had in 2024. The most controversial election. And I don't know if you remember the last one, and the one before that, and before that. There was controversies in every single election we have had for decades. It doesn't stop. And some say 2024 will be the most controversial election we have ever had in our history. That's scary. But as all this stuff's happening, we are continuing to see investigations into these threats. For instance, the FBI, they were investigating a threat directed at Colorado Supreme Court justices after they ruled in favor of 4-3 to ban former President Donald Trump from being on the ballot. Yeah, there were threats to them as well. So this isn't going to stop. The concern right now is the threats to the United States are only going to increase in frequency and in intensity. Some of these are just, they are a little bit upset, gonna light a fire in front of the courthouse, which, don't do that. But lighting a fire in front of the courthouse is much different than taking the life of a Supreme Court justice. That's a huge, escalation. And so again, don't do any of those things. But this is what the FBI is now saying, that these threats, whether they're credible or not, they have to be looked into. They have to investigate them a little bit to ensure the safety of the American people.
Okay, any comments on that? So we got threats, 5 threats on 5 different capitals in the U.S. today alone. Okay. Yeah, and this one right here, I talked about this before, how that everybody under the assumption that, Israel has got limited amount of weaponry. But I was showing you that they the number one arms dealers. They the ones inventing all these weapons. They got weapons that nobody don't know about that's gonna come out when everything start hitting the fan. It's an example right here.
Iran and Russia have been renowned for possessing the largest and most varied missile arsenal in the world. Their hypersonic missiles, capable of flying faster than 5 times the speed of sound, are considered unstoppable by most experts. But there is one country that is not moved by their threats: Israel. Israel is one of the few nations that has the best air defense system in the world, capable of stopping an unstoppable missile. And now, Israel has revealed its own secret weapon, a hypersonic missile that shocked Iran, Russia, and even Hamas. This missile is said to be the fastest and most accurate missile ever developed by Israel. It can hit any target in the Middle East within minutes and evade any countermeasures. In this video, we'll check out how Israel has been able to achieve this and explore the implications it holds for the future of warfare. Concerns surrounding hypersonic weapons have been a topic of discussion for quite some time now. In response to Iran's efforts to develop various versions of long-range missiles, a renewed effort has been made to counter this potential threat. While specific details regarding these developments remain classified, sources within the Defense Ministry have indicated that the primary focus lies in assisting the local defense industry in enhancing early warning sensors and systems. These advancements are intended to effectively intercept long-range missiles, including those of the hypersonic variety. But what's the fuss about hypersonic weapons? In recent years, hypersonic weapons have become a hot topic in military circles around the world. These weapons are capable of flying faster, farther, and more unpredictably than conventional missiles, making them harder to detect and intercept by existing defense systems. But with Israel's military, the story is different. They have very powerful missiles that most countries' hypersonic weapons cannot stand a chance with. One such missile is the Arrow 3. This U.S.-Israeli-built missile defense interceptor was designed to defeat medium-range ballistic missiles and entered service in 2017. The missile uses a hit-to-kill warhead to engage targets in space and is the longest-range interceptor currently fielded with the Arrow weapon system. It complements the Arrow 2, which engages targets in the upper atmosphere. The Arrow 3 provides hypersonic capabilities and can defend a very large area, providing comprehensive defense of strategic sites and large populated areas. It can destroy long-range threats, including those carrying weapons of mass destruction, far away from the targets. It operates as an exo-atmospheric air defense system with an operational range of 1,500 miles.
Let me show you how we do stuff programming.
Atmosphere to destroy an incoming threat in space during the spaceflight portion of the threat's journey. Despite the maneuverability of hypersonic missiles with thrust vectoring capability, the kill vehicle of the Arrow 3 can switch directions dramatically to keep up with the directional changes of any threat. According to numerous Israeli experts, including Professor Yitzhak Ben Yisrael, former director of the Israeli administration for the development of weapons and technological infrastructure, and currently the chairman of the Israeli Space Agency, it is also possible that the Arrow 3 could serve as an anti-satellite weapon. On November 9th, 2023, for the first time, the Arrow 3 successfully intercepted a Houthi missile heading from Yemen to the country's southernmost city of Eilat. This successful test demonstrated the effective features of the Iron Beam is its high-energy laser beam, which is invisible to the human eye. You need special optics just to see it. This means that the system can operate anonymously, giving it a clear advantage over its predecessor, the Iron Dome. Compared to other air defense measures like David's Sling or the Patriot missile system, which rely on missiles or rockets to counter aerial threats, the Iron Beam also takes safety to a whole new level. When a rocket or missile collides or explodes near another missile, rocket, mortar, or drone, there is shrapnel and wreckage that falls to the ground below. This can create a hazardous situation for people in the targeted area or even those below the interception point. But the Iron Beam cuts that hazard equation in half. How? Well, it's simple. The lack of shrapnel from the interception means that there is no additional wreckage created by enemy forces. Once the laser beam locks onto a target and destroys it, it dissipates into thin air. No mess, no fuss. Lastly, we have the Skysonic. Unveiled on June 14, 2023, this anti-hypersonic missile defense system is truly one of a kind. After 3 years of development, the Skysonic interceptor missile is ready to take center stage. This announcement couldn't have come at a better time. as just days earlier, Iran claimed to have developed a new hypersonic missile. Raphael wasted no time in asserting the superiority of their creation, stating that the Skysonic missile represents a major technological leap in hypersonic missile defense. So what sets the Skysonic apart from other defense systems? Well, it's all about maneuverability and speed. Designed with exceptional agility and high-speed capabilities, this missile can effectively neutralize hypersonic threats with unmatched precision and stealth. Hypersonic missiles, which travel at speeds over 5 times that of sound, are no match for the Skysonic. You may be wondering how the Skysonic differs from other air defense systems. Most air defense systems operate up to an altitude of 20 kilometers, while anti-ballistic systems intercept targets outside of Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah, so like I was saying, they got for them to come out and do what they did with Hamas, they have something back in the bag nobody knows about. They slowly starting to come out with it. Yeah, they had to know the repercussions of what they was doing to Hamas and how the whole world was going to turn against them. They had to know that. Okay, any comments on that?
No, sir.
Okay, you got some need to know information right here.
Of course, on this channel, we talk a lot about American descendants of slaves trying to hold on to their properties or land, right? Especially places like South Carolina, where there's some Gullah Geechee land left. Gullah Geechee land is basically where descendants, as it says, of slavery, their ancestors had the land, and some of it going back to the Civil War, right? And so in a lot of cases, developers try to get it, right? They want to build a new housing community or something, and they encroach upon descendants' property by lying and saying, oh, well, you don't actually own it, or, you know, it's actually, this part of it is our property. Just flat out lying and thievery, right? And a lot of that is due to rezoning. You know, when politicians get in there, they try to rezone it to do certain things, and then, of course, some of that will catch up the Gullah Geechee land or the descendants' land in that whole little political melee, and then they say, well, that land is not actually yours, right? Okay, and then some of that is on us, where we do sell our ancestors' land. Maybe we just don't want it anymore, or a developer come and they'll offer us an offer something we can't refuse. Now, this is what is described as a historical Black community. Scholars define a historical Black community or town as a settlement founded by formerly enslaved people, usually between the late 19th and early 20th century. The enclaves often had their own churches, schools, stores, and economic system. Of course, we know that is true for something like Black Wall Street there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where it was a fully functional, thriving community. Of course, we know that white supremacists got jealous and found a way via the lies of a white woman to go in there and destroy all that they had. But it wasn't just Black Wall Street. It was Slocum, Texas. It was Rosewood in Florida, and a copious amount of other places we can think of where Black people were self-sufficient, right? White people didn't like it and they tore it up. Now, in modern day, we don't necessarily see white people going into the neighborhoods like they used to with their white hoods and stuff and just flat out burning it down and murdering the residents. We see them doing it with the pen. They go in there and they pencil whip, right? Oh, we need to buy this land, and they slide a little favors to the politicians, and the politicians, they might turn the blind eye with the stealing of descendants of slavery's property and things like that. And so specifically in Dafuski, South Carolina, there, a woman by the name of Sally Ann, she says that's going on with her family's property that's been in her family for 6 generations. So she was born in a house, but of course, you know, gentrification and housing developments and all just the usual stuff is threatening their property as well. And so I would say, you know, especially to us as Black people, we really do need to be careful as to who we vote for, because a lot of times it's all politicians, whether they're Democrat or Republican. They don't care about Black people. They care about green money. And so oftentimes the black politicians that we vote for, they'll turn a blind eye and stick their hand out for that white envelope, right? From developers or whoever to allow them to go into our historical black communities and take over. We also know that when they do put a housing development in our communities, the taxes go up, gentrification, of course, but then it's harder for our people to live there because then they'll build a shopping center and all this other stuff that makes it hard for people who may be renting there to live there. The rents go up, right? So we need to do all we can. And I know sometimes when developers come through, they want to offer our people a little bit of money to buy their properties. Sometimes we have to say, nah, I'm not selling it. And if you got to sell it to somebody black who is going to preserve the blackness of that community. Don't sell it to white people or anybody else. They don't care about that. They trying to get in a lot of those times that land is on a riverfront, right, or next to the water. So they want that property so they can build these nice real estates and have people walk out of their houses right onto the lake. Well, sell it to somebody black, like I said, who's going to preserve the culture there. But again, white people don't care about that. They only care about making money and all that other stuff. But me personally, I hate to hear that happening, to us, especially people that have had the property, like one particular woman, a 93-year-old woman in South Carolina who's had the property in her family since the Civil War. Housing development company was like, well, we want it. They did a whole lot of stuff to her, to the tune of where Tyler Perry and they give Snoop Dogg, a whole bunch of the people had to get involved to try to help her with the legal fees because they're like, nah, you ain't gonna take this lady's property. Y'all go find somewhere else to move. But of course, she's right there by the water and stuff too. So that is a trend. But again, let's do all we can as Black people to try to preserve our own family's history in our Black communities. Because I'm here in Houston, and sometimes when I go into some of the historical Black communities, you see them fading out because you see, white people there, and they got these new buildings and this, that, and the other, and Black culture is starting to disappear. So also, as I said at the beginning, let's try to vote for politicians who care about the Black community, who say, nah, we don't need to destroy the Black community. In fact, let's put more money into it so we can build it up for Black people.
Okay, any comments on that? Okay. So with that being said, let's open it up for some Q&A. And anybody got any questions or comments about anything they've been reading or some information they came across they want to talk about it? Anybody have nothing? Okay. We'll go to our reading through the Tanak. We're going to be reading out of Hosea tonight. I start reading in chapter 1. If somebody want to read a chapter, just let me know. Okay. I'm in Hosea. Okay. Chapter 1 says, the word of the Lord that came unto Hosea, the son of Wari, in the days of Uzi, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, in the days of Jeroboam, the son of Joash, king of Israel. The beginning of the word of the Lord by Hosea. And the Lord said unto Hosea, go, take unto thee a wife of whoredoms and children of whoredoms, for the land have committed great whoredom, departing from the Lord. So he went and took Gomer, daughter of Diblaim, which conceived, and bore him a son. And the Lord said unto him, call his name Jezreel, for yet a little while, and I will avenge the blood of Jezreel upon the house of Jehu, and will cause to cease the kingdom of the house of Israel. And it shall come to pass at that day that I will break the bow of Israel in the land of Jezreel. And she conceived again and bore a daughter. And God said unto him, call her name Lu, can't say that name, Luhuma, for I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel, but I will utterly take them away. But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah, and I will save them by the Lord their God, and I will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, by horses, nor by horsemen. Now when she had weaned Lahuma, she conceived and bore a son. Then said the Lord, call his name Laamina, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sands of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezebel. Okay, that was chapter 1 of Hosea. Anybody have any comments on that?
No, sir.
Okay.
I'll read chapter 2, Hosea, the chastisement of adulterous Israel. Say ye unto your brethren, Ami, and to your sister, Rumah, plead with your mother, plead, for she is not my wife, neither am I her husband. Let her therefore put away her whoredoms out of sight, and her adulteries from between her breasts. Verse 3, lest I strip her naked, and set her as in the day that she was born, and make her as a wilderness, and set her like a dry land, and slay her with thirst. And I will not have mercy upon her children, for they be the children of whoredoms. For their mother hath played the harlot, she had conceived them, had done shamefully. For she said, I will go after my lovers that give me my bread and my water, my wool and my flax, my all and my drink. Verse 6, therefore, behold, I will hedge up the way with horns, and make a wall, that she shall not find her paths. And she shall follow after her lovers, but she shall not overtake them. And she shall seek them, but shall not find them. Then she shall say, I will go and return to my first husband, for then was it better with me than now. For she did not know that I gave her corn and wine and oil, and multiplied her silver and gold, which they prepared for Baal. Therefore will I return and take away my corn in the time thereof, and my wine in the season thereof, and will recover my wool and my flax given to cover her nakedness. And now will I discover her loatedness in the sight of her lovers, and none shall deliver her out of my hand. Verse 11, I will also cause her mirth to cease, her feast days, her new moons, and her Sabbath, and all her, and her solemn feast. And I will destroy her vines and her fig trees, whereof she hath said, these are my rewards that my lovers have given me, and I will make them a forest, and the beasts of the field shall eat them. And I will visit upon her the days of the Baalim, wherein she burned incense to them, and she decked herself with her earrings and her jewels, and she went after her lovers, and begat me, saith the Lord. Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness, and speak comfortably unto her. And I will give her her vineyards from thence, in the valley of Achor, for a door of hope, and she shall sing there as in the days of her youth, and as in the day when she came out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be at the day, saith the Lord, that thou shalt call me Isha, and shalt call me no more Bailey. For I will take away the name of Balaam out of her mouth, and they shall no more be remembered by their name. And in that day I will make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of heaven, and with the creeping things of the ground. And I will break the bow and the sword and the battle out of the earth, and will make them to lie down safely. And I will betroth thee unto me forever. Yea, I will betroth thee unto me in righteousness, and in judgment, and in loving kindness, and in mercies. And I will even betroth thee unto me in faithfulness, and thou shalt know the Lord. And it shall come to pass in that day, I will hear, saith the Lord, I will hear the heavens, and they shall hear the earth. And the earth shall come hear the corn, and the wine, and the oil, and they shall hear Jezreel. And I will sow her unto me in the earth, and I will have mercy upon her that had not obtained mercy. And I will say to them which were not my people, Thou art my people, and they shall say, Thou art my God. I read
Okay.
Hosea 2 and 1 through 23. So it's telling me, it's talking about how um, the Lord of hosts is talking to these people to tell them that he's going to come back and what he's going to do to Israel, because she is the land, Israel, that he's talking about.
Okay, yeah. I wanted to go back to verse chapter 1, in the historical settings. I mean, I got a can't think of what they call this Bible. Well, anyway, I got a Jeff study Bible. So it says in the
Okay.
historical settings that Hosea was to the northern kingdom, like Jeremiah was to the southern kingdom. So that brings me back to a point that I've been making. I don't think it registered with a lot of people when they hear it, but so Jeremiah prophesied to the southern kingdom about their sins and turning their back on the Creator, on Yahweh and the Lord of hosts, um, before they went to Babylon. That's why Nebuchadnezzar came. Well, um, Hosea is doing the same thing that Jeremiah did to the northern kingdom, that they was going into captivity, that the Assyrians were coming to get them. And so, like I said before, when you understand that Nebuchadnezzar, he conquered a lot of countries, but he would depose the king and make them governors. He keep them in place, but they no longer a king. They be a governor because he the king. That's why they call him the King of Kings. But anyway, to understand that, being that Nebuchadnezzar had these like 172 providences, so he had Nebuchadnezzar. I mean, he had the southern kingdom under his wing just as well as the Syrians. Because the Assyrians came and took the Israelites to Nineveh, but then right after that, Nebuchadnezzar came and conquered them. So Nebuchadnezzar has the southern and the northern kingdom under his control. So when Cyrus came and conquered the Chaldeans and conquered Nebuchadnezzar, now Cyrus got control of all 12 tribes. And that's had to be understood in order to understand what takes place after that. So, and then understand what Daniel is telling us. So when you go to Ezra right quick, you'll see what I'm talking about. Ezra, he says the proclamation that they have in Daniel 9:25 that they're using But Jesus is not, is we know is tied to Zerubbabel. So he said in a proclamation, a commandment is going to go forth for the Israelites to return to Jerusalem and rebuild the temple. And we see it in Ezra when it says, now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled. So Jeremiah prophesied before they went to Babylon that they were going to come out of Babylon. So he says, by the mouth of Jeremiah, that the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom and put it in writing, saying, Thus says Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord God of heaven, have given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he have charged me to build him a house in Jerusalem, which is in Judea, right? Keep in mind, he got all 12 tribes under his control. Then verse 3, who is there among you of all his people, all 12 tribes? They want you to think 10 tribes was lost. So it says, who's there among you of all his people? His God be with him. Let him go up to Jerusalem. This Deuteronomy, Daniel 9:25, and let them go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judea, and build the house of the Lord God, the God of Israel. He is the God which is in Jerusalem. So I read that and shine a light on that for this. Go back to Hosea. Hosea prophesying to the northern kingdom. But look what he says in verses 9 through 11. He says, I'll read 7, start at 7. But I will have mercy. This is what the Lord told Hosea to tell the 10 tribes. I will have mercy upon the house of Judah. See that? And I will save them by the Lord their God. And I will not save them by bow, nor by sword, nor by battle, by horses, nor by horsemen. Now, when he had weaned Leruma, she conceived and bore a son. Then 9. Then said God, this is Hosea talking, call his name Lamina, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God. 10 tribes. 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sands of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass, right? So what we read in Ezra, it was prophesied right here. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. That's in Babylon. In 11, here you go. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together out of Babylon, where they went, in Syria, and appoint them one head, Zerubbabel. Appoint them one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the land of Jezreel, right there. There it is. That's the prophecy. But they want you to make you think that that's tied to some futuristic event. Okay. I just thought I was shining light on that. Somebody want to read chapter 3?
Shalom. Yes, sir, I will. Hosea chapter 3, Israel's redemption. Then said the Lord unto me, Go yet, love a woman, beloved of her friend, yet an adulteress according to the love of the Lord towards the children of Israel, who look to other gods and love of wine. So I bought her to me for 15 pieces of silver and for a homer of barley and a half homer of barley. And I said unto her, thou shalt abide for me many days. Thou shalt not play the harlot, and thou shalt not be for another man. So will I also be for thee. Verse 4. For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image, and without an ephod, and without teraphim. Afterwards shall the children of Israel return and seek the Lord their God and David their king, and shall fear the Lord and his goodness in the latter days. That was Hosea chapter 3, Israel redemption.
Okay, you want to read 4? It was only 5 verses.
Yes, sir, I can.
You got any comments on that? 3?
I have a question on chapter 3.
What is
Is
it?
it that was the Lord telling Hosea to love his wife regardless, just like he done Israel? Is
Well,
that
Israel. If you go back to the story, he says he found Israel wandering in the wilderness like a baby, in the and he wrapped her up, put him in swaddling clothes, and then made a nation out of her and made a woman out of her. So, and then once he done all that, came and delivered them out of Egypt. They got Arab fat and kicked
yes, sir?
and turned their back on him. So he wants Hosea to feel the same way he felt. He want him
Oh,
to go get a he want him to go get a harlot because
okay,
we know the relationship ain't gonna last long. She he gonna be there for a minute, then she gonna put her eyes on somebody else and throw him away. So he
right,
want
right.
he want Hosea to understand. He want Hosea to feel the way that he feel and understand why he coming off the way he coming off.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I think a lot of them come to play right here in 4.
And 4, okay. Hosea chapter 4, no knowledge of God in the land. 4:1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood toucheth blood.
Amen.
Therefore shall the land mourn, and every one that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. Yet let no man strive, nor reprove another, for thy people are as they that strive with the priests. Verse 5. Therefore shall thou fall in the day, and the prophet also shall fall with thee in the night, and I will destroy thy mother. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory unto shame. Verse 8. They eat up the sin of my people, and they set their heart on their iniquity. And there shall be like people, like priests, and I will punish them for their ways and reward them their doings. For they shall eat and not have enough. They shall commit whoredom and shall not increase, because they have left off to take heed to the Lord. Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. 12. My people ask counsel at their stocks, and their staff declareth unto them. For the spirit of whoredoms hath caused them to earth, and they have gone a whoring from under their God. They sacrifice upon the tops of the mountains and burn incense upon the hills, under oaks and poplars and elms, because the shadow thereof is good. Therefore your daughters shall commit whoredom, and your spouses shall commit adultery. Verse 14. I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom, nor your spouses when they commit adultery. For themselves are separated with whores, and they sacrifice with harlots. Therefore the people that doeth not understand shall fall. Though thou Israel play the harlot, yet let not Judah offend, and come not ye unto Gilgad. Neither go ye up to Bethaven, nor swear, the Lord liveth. For Israel slided back as a backsliding heifer. Oh, wow. Now the Lord will feed them as a lamb in a large place. Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. Verse 18. Their drink is sour. They have committed whoredom continually. Her rulers with shame do love give ye. The wind hath bound her up in her wings, and they shall be ashamed because of their sacrifices. That was Hosea chapter 4.
Okay, so you see it now.
Yes,
He
sir, I
said
do.
in chapter 1, it says, out the gate, he said, verse 1, the word of the Lord that came to Hosea, the son of Bari, in the days of Uzi, Jotham, Ahaz, Hezekiah, kings of Judah, in the days of Jeroboam, the son of Joash, king of Israel, the beginning of the word of the Lord by Hosea. And the Lord said unto Hosea, go, take thee a wife of whoredom. See that? You see that?
Yes, sir.
Now, go to chapter 4
Mhm.
and starting at
Hold on. It said take what now?
a wife of whoredom, a whore,
Okay.
a promiscuous woman. So he says, then you go to chapter 4, and then you see why he told him to do that. 10. For they Israel, nation of Israel, it says, well, they shall eat and not have enough. They shall commit a whoredom, see that? And shall not be increased, because they have left off to take heed to the Lord. Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. My people are ask counsel at their stocks, and their staff declares unto them, for the spirit of whoredom have caused them to err, and they have gone a whoring from under their God. So when you look at that, you said that their actions, the way they act, the way they conduct themselves, that caused them to go away from him. So that's why he's telling Hosea to get a wife of order, cause her actions going to lead her away from him. And he want Hosea to feel that.
Okay, so is it like they have this spirit of whoredom, shall I say?
Yeah, the spirit of whoredom, you're going to act. If you have that spirit within you, then you acting it out.
Right. Okay. Yes, sir. You're right.
Right. So notice how he told she had two girls. And he said you got two sisters. That's Israel, Israel and Judah.
Mm-hmm.
And they went away, yeah. So anyway, but so the point, another thing I want to shine light on while we was here was I was telling you about Isaiah, which is important. So it's like Isaiah 53. Who this suffering servant is, right? So let's look at it right quick. Isaiah 53, and I show you, every chance I get that you want to know who the suffering servant is, you got to go to 52, the end of 52, the last three verses, 13, 14, 15, it says, behold, my servant, we're looking for the suffering servant. Behold, my servant shall deal prudently. He shall be exalted and extolled and be very high. So right now, he's at the bottom of the food chain, whoever this servant is. As many were astonished at thee, his vestige was so more than any man, and his form more than the sons of men. So we see more than one of them. 15, tell you who it is. So shall he sprinkle many nations. The Lord shall shut their mouths at him, for that which he had not seen, had not been told them, shall they see. And that which they had not heard, shall they consider. So we know who do the sprinkling. It's in the temple. It's the Levites. And we know the story on the Levites and priests was he took them from among the nation of Israel, the tribe of Levi, and brought them to himself, because they the ones that regulate everything happening in Israel. They're the ones that regulate the sin. So it's the priest that's the suffering servant. So you say, what are you talking about? Go to Hosea, what you just read. Verse 6, we start at 1, it says, hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, all right? Because there is no truth, right? No mercy, no knowledge of God in the land, right? Who possessed that? The Levites. They're the ones who possess that knowledge. And he said the oracles of God is at the mouth of the priest. They the ones dispersed it to the people. So go to verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee. You're going to see who this is. This thee. That thou shalt no more be priest. See that? Talking to the priest.
Mm-hmm.
See that? Thou shalt be no more priest to thee. That thou shalt be no more priest unto me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law. See that? The law ties to the priest of thy God, and I will also forget thy children. Talking about the children of the Levites, as they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame. They eat up the sin. So it's the priest doing this. They eat up the sin of my people, and they set their hearts on their iniquity, and they should be doing the opposite. And there shall be like people, like priests, and I will punish them. See that? That's why they was
So
on the tree.
that's like the preachers right now.
Right. That's why he punished.
Like they
That's what
corrupt, like right, yeah,
that's what
okay.
the transatlantic slave trade all about. It was Judah, Benjamin, Levi, the head. So it says, and there shall be like people, like priests, and I will punish them for their ways and reward them for their doings. For they shall eat and not have enough. They shall commit whoredom and shall not be increased, because they have left off to take heed to the Lord. So he brought them unto himself, and they took off from what they supposed to be doing their role. See that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's of the utmost importance. Average person don't think so, but JC, he ain't the damn suffering servant. You got to understand who the suffering servant is. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
So, anybody want to read chapter 5? Anybody else? I'll read it. Nobody want to read it. Okay. Hear ye. So here you go again, right here for chapter 5. Hear ye, O priests. See that? And hearken, ye house of Israel, and give ye ear, O house of the king. So the house of the king is Judah. And he said the priests, that's the Levites. That's who ended up in the transatlantic slave trade. Said, O house of the king, for judgment is toward you. See that? Because ye have been a snare on Mitzvah, and a net spread upon Tabor, and the revolters are profound to make slaughter. Though I have been a rebuker of them all, I know Ephraim, and Israel is not hid from me. For now, O Ephraim, thou committest whoredom, and Israel is defiled. They will not frame their doings to turn unto their God, for the spirit of whoredom is in the midst of them, and they have not known the Lord. And the pride of Israel doeth testify to his face. Therefore shall Israel and Ephraim fall in their iniquity. Judah also shall fall with them. So when you say Israel and Ephraim, you got the 10 tribes, then Ephraim is the head over the 10 tribes. You got the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Judah the head over the southern kingdom. So Ephraim, the reason Ephraim is the head over the southern kingdom is called Joseph. Joseph had Ephraim and Manasseh. Okay, you understand that. So 6, they shall go with their flocks and with their herds to seek the Lord, but they shall not find him. He hath withdrawn himself from them. So this is after they came back from Babylon, and then and the Epiphanies came and ran them out. Like I was saying, they had their flocks and their herds with them when they left. When from the time they left until now, he separated us from those flocks and herds, because he don't want them making no sacrifices to him. So it says, 6, they shall go with their flocks and with their herds to seek the Lord, but they shall not find him. He hath withdrawn himself from them. They have dealt treacherously against the Lord, for they have begotten strange children, and now shall a moth devour them with their portion. Blow ye the clarinet in Gibeon, and the trumpet in Ramallah. Cry aloud at Bethaven after thee, O Benjamin. Ephraim shall be desolate in the day of rebuke, among the tribes of Israel have I made known that which shall surely be. The princes of Judah were like them that remove the bounds. Therefore I will pour out my wrath upon them like water. Ephraim is oppressed and broken in judgment, because he willingly walked after the commandments. Therefore will I be unto Ephraim as a moth, and to the house of Judah as rottenness. And Ephraim saw his sickness, and Judah saw his wound. Okay. Then was Ephraim, hold on, it says, when Ephraim saw his sickness and Judah saw his wound, then went Ephraim to the Assyrian and sent to King Jared, yet could he not heal you nor cure you of your wound. For I will be unto Ephraim as a lion, and as a young lion to the house of Judah. Even I, will tear and go away, and I will take away, and none shall rescue. So see, well, this is another thing. I bring this up a lot, but he got the verses right here to connect the dots. So he said he threw with the 10 tribes, with the tribes, right? And then, so it says in 14, I will be on the Ephraim. Same wording is in Deuteronomy 28. 13, when Ephraim saw his sickness and Judah saw his wound, they got a wound, then went Ephraim to the Assyrian and sent to King Jared, yet could he not heal you nor cure you of your wound. For I will be under Ephraim as a young lion. So it's like he said in Deuteronomy, just like I rejoiced over you for good, I'm gonna rejoice over you for bad. Same thing right here. I will be under Ephraim as a lion, as a young lion to the house of Judah. Even I would tear. See that? I would tear and go away, and I will take away, and none shall rescue. This definitely ain't JC. Now we're gonna pick it up in verse chapter 6. Come, let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn. Well, he just told you up there. I'm gonna tear and go away. And it ain't JC. See that? Come, let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn, and he will heal us. He hath smitten. All this in Isaiah 53. He hath smitten, and he will bind us up. After 2 days, 2,000 years. After 2 days, will he revive us. In the third day, same thing they put on JC, 3 days. He will raise us up, not JC, Israel, the nation of Israel. He will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. Then shall we know, if we follow on, to know the Lord is going forth, is prepared as a morning, and he shall come unto us as a rain, as a latter rain and a former rain upon the earth. So let's look at that again. So this our forefathers. They're saying this ain't, we ain't nowhere around, we wasn't even thought of yet. So it's our forefathers talking. They said, verse 6, chapter 6, verse 1. Come, let us return unto the Lord, for we have torn, he will heal us. He hath smitten, and he will bind us up, right? After 2 days, will he revive us. So where they at right now? Is this our forefathers? Where our forefathers at right now? Ain't they in the grave?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
They in the grave. So now he will heal us. He hath smitten. He will bind us up. After 2 days will he revive us. In the third day he will raise us up. Out of where? Ezekiel 37. See that?
Yes, sir.
He will raise us up, and when we will live in his sight. See that? That's Ezekiel 37. Then shall we know, if we follow on, excuse me, to know the Lord is going forth, is prepared as the morning, and he shall come unto us as the rain, as the latter rain, former rain, unto the earth. Same thing when you plant your crop. So former rain and latter rain to raise it up. It says right here, In the latter days, the former rain, you're going to come to the earth. Where they buried it, in the earth. Okay, so anyway, verse 4. O Ephraim, what shall I do unto thee? O Judah, what shall I do unto thee? For your goodness is as the morning cloud, and as the early dew, it goeth away. Therefore have I hewed them by the prophets. I have slain them by the word of my mouth, and thy judgments are as the light that goeth forth. For I desire mercy and not sacrifice, and the knowledge of God more than burnt offering. But they, like men, have transgressed the covenant. There have they dealt treacherously against me. Gilead is a city of them that work iniquity, and is polluted with blood. And as troops of robbers wait for a man, so the company of priests, they go again, murder in a way by consent, or they commit lewdness. So this is the same thing as when the 200 angels came down. Remember what he told Zerubbabel. They in the temple, same with angels. They up in heaven. They was in heaven, left their estate. So these priests up in the temple with the Lord of hosts, they left their estate. So anyway, it says, as a troop of robbers wait for a man, so the company of priests murder in a way by consent, and they commit lewdness. I have seen a horrible thing in the house of Israel. There is whoredom of Ephraim. Israel is defiled. Also, O Judah, ye have set a harvest for thee when I return the captivity of my people. See that? So it ain't nothing new under the sun. So he had done all this right here, kept bringing them back. So that's why I said this before, and Daniel, I will say it again right here, is only appropriate. So you go to Daniel chapter 8, and this is why he said this right here. He says, chapter 8. Yeah. So Gabriel came after Daniel had seen the ram and the he-goat. Okay, and he says, notice that they was in Babylon, because of what they had done. And he had the temple burned down. Zedekiah burnt the word of the word of the Lord by Jeremiah. Zechariah burned the scroll and threw him on the fire. So he came back, burnt his house down, burnt Jerusalem down, burnt the temple down because of their action. He recompensed it. So then now he's telling them right here in chapter 8, verse 18. Now as he was speaking with me, this Gabriel came to tell Daniel what's going to happen. Now as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground. This also, like I said, this killed the Maccabees, this killed JC, it killed the apostles, it killed all that. So it says, now as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground, but he touched me and set me upright. And he said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of indignation. For the time appointed, the end shall be. So his indignation came to a full. That's what they ain't telling. I gave y'all all these opportunities. Brought you out of Egypt. You flipped out on me. I sent you to Babylon. Then you brought you back. You flipped out. So he's showing Daniel right here his indignation came to a full. He's going to bring the nation of Israel to an end. That's what that's saying. We know the time of the end. We know that the end of the world because we still here. So he's going to bring the nation of Israel to an end. That's why ain't no temple there now. That's why ain't no Israelites there. Because right here, the nation came to a full. The time appointed. The nation that came to a full. And we see over here in Hosea how he was pleading with them in the book of Hosea. They didn't get it. He was pleading with them with Jeremiah. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to read 6. Read chapter 6. Okay. Chapter 6. No, I read chapter 6, chapter 7. Okay. Israel rebelled against God. It says, and when I would have healed Israel, then the iniquity of Ephraim was discovered, and the wickedness of Samaria, for they commit falsehoods, and the thief cometh in, and the troop and the robber spoiled without, and they consider not in their hearts that I remember all their wickedness. Now their own doings have beset them about. They are before my face. They make the king glad with their wickedness, and the prince with their lies. They are all adulterers, as an oven heated by the baker, who ceases from rising after he have kneaded the dough until it be leavened. In the day of our king, the princes have made him sick with the bottles of wine. He stretches out his hand with corners, for they have made ready their hearts like an oven. Whilst they lie in wait, their baker sleepeth all the night. In the morning it burneth as a flaming fire. They are all hot as an oven, and have devoured their judges. All their kings are fallen. There is none among them that calleth upon me. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. Strangers have devoured his strength, and he knoweth it not. Yea, gray hairs are here and there upon him, yet he knoweth not. And the pride of Israel testified to his face, and they do not return to the Lord their God, nor seek him for all this. Ephraim also is like a silly dove without a heart. They call to Egypt. They go to Assyria. When they shall go, I will spread my net upon them, and I will bring them down as the fowls of the heavens, and I will chastise them as their congregation have heard. Woe unto them, for they have fled from me, destruction unto them, because they have transgressed against me. Though I have redeemed them, yet they have spoken lies against me, and they have not cried unto me with their heart. When they howl upon their beds, they assemble themselves for corn and wine, and they have rebelled against me. Though I have bound and strengthened their arms, yet do they imagine mischief against me. They return, but not to the Most High. They are like a deceitful bow. Their princes shall fall by the sword for the rage of their tongues. This shall be their derision in the land of Egypt. Okay. Any comments? Question? Or comments? Question?
Sir, yeah, so, well, not a comment. So, you're reading 6, and they're just acting like Solomon and Gomorrah to me in the
Right.
in the land.
Exactly what it is. Solomon and Gomorrah. He mentioned that over and over again. It said that Israel and Judah have surpassed Solomon and Gomorrah in sin.
And it seems like the Lord of Hosts is saying they don't even realize that He's watching them and knowing everything they're doing. And even though the priest is laughing at them, they're killing the kings after one after another. They can't keep a king, and they're not even, with all this going on, they're not even crying out to Him, not even asking the Lord of Hosts to come save them, because
Right.
they're so enmangled with this idol worshiping and everything, and then listening to a priest those priests that's giving them falsehood.
Right. And you also another thing about that. Well, I don't think it's not people are not really visualizing it. Just like I was saying yesterday, uh, he sent Cain went out of the garden and went to the east. Well, when he cast Adam and Eve out, he cast them out. They went to the east. So they went to the same direction. So a lot of people don't see that, but If you go back to Moses, Moses was, we know the Most High was behind him. He orchestrated, but he had him get into a pickle, and then he had to flee Egypt. And when he fled Egypt, he ended up in Midian, and then he ended up by Mount Moriah, where the Lord hosted where he was at. And Moses came up on the mountain, and we know the story. He sent him back to Egypt. Well, he brought the Israelites there. And if you understand, when you understand the story and the layout, the geographical layout of that region, it's 7 major mountains around there. Mount Hermon, where the 200 angels came down there in that same area. And you always hear the Lord talking about Tabor, Mount Moriah, Mount Zion. They all in that area. Well, that's what the Canaanites is doing. Is these angels up on these mountains. The Canaanites before Israelites came there, that's what they means of worshiping. They would go up in these mountains and with the child sacrifices, worship to these angels. That's what the angel tried to trick Abraham to get him to sacrifice Isaac. But anyway, after all that happened, he brought Moses there up on the mountain, and then he dealt with Moses. Well, they got there. That was the main thing they was doing. They was going up in the mountains, and as a matter of fact, the same mountain, but they going up there, and they ain't looking for him. They going up there with their children to sacrifice him, looking for these other beings, making sacrifices to him. Ain't that so?
Yes, sir. That is crazy.
Right. They ended up in the same mountains where he brought Moses up at, and then same mountains where the 200 angels was at. They came there, and they up there worshiping. And not only that, sacrificing their kids to him. Like there's something, and the very God that's blessing them to have kids and making them fruitful and multiply, they walking right past him, looking for these other beings to sacrifice to. And there's something.
Yes. And is it because the priest been giving them the you know teaching to them, preaching to them about the idols, or I mean, how were they? I mean, how could they turn away so fast and so strongly? And they have a priest there. I know the priests were giving them falsehoods, but what with in their speeches or their teaching about the Lord of Hosts? Because I know they had to mention them or
Right.
at one point.
We get an example right here. We get an example of what the priest was doing and princes and let me get it. Says okay. Okay. It says and I'm looking for when he told Ezekiel to dig down in the wall to see what they were doing. So it says yeah, so we go on to something else I brought up. Ezekiel 23, that's the parable of the 2 sisters. What I was just telling you about. The 2 sisters is Judah and the northern and southern kingdom. Yeah, here you go. 22. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Now, thou son of man, wilt thou judge the bloody city? Yea, thou shalt show her all her abomination. Then said thou, Thus said the Lord God, the city sheddeth blood in the midst of it, that her time may come, and maketh idols against herself to defile herself. Thou art become guilty in thy blood that thou hast shed, and hast defiled thyself in thy idols which thou hast made, and thou hast caused thy days to draw near, and are come even unto the years. Therefore have I made thee a reproach unto the heathen, and a mocking to all the countries. These that are near, that be near, those that be near, and those that be far off, shall mock thee with an infamous and much vexed. Behold, the prince of Israel, every one of them, were in thee to their power to shed blood. In thee have they set light by father and mother. In the midst of thee have they dealt by the oppression with the stranger. In thee have they vexed the fatherless and the widow. Okay, you get it. Yeah. Okay. So I don't see it, but it says he told Jeremiah, he told him to dig down in the wall. Oh yeah, here you go. It says, and it came to
Brother
pass.
Leonard, look at chapter 8.
It says chapter 8, verse 5. Then said he unto me, Son of man, lift up thine eyes now by the way toward the north. So I lifted up mine eyes and saw toward the north, and behold, northward, and at the gate of the altar, in the temple, this image of jealousy was in the entryway. And he said, furthermore unto me, Son of man, see thou what they do. This is what they was doing. Even the great abominations that the house of Israel committed there, that I should go far off from my sanctuary, but turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations. And he brought me to the door of the court. And when I looked, behold, a hole in the wall. Then said he unto me, Son of man, dig now in the wall. And when I had digged into the wall, behold, a door. And he said unto me, Go in, and behold, the wicked abomination that they do here. So I went in, and I saw, and behold, every form of creeping things and abominable beasts, and all idols of the house of Israel portrayed upon the wall, in the bottom of the temple, portrayed upon the wall round about. And there stood before them, here you go, 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel. In the midst of them stood Jezahiah, the son of Stephan, these priests, with every man his censer in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. Then said he unto me, Son of man, as thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark, every man in his chamber of his imagery, and they say, The Lord seeth not, the Lord hath forsaken the earth. So that's what they were doing right there. So no matter what they did, that's why he didn't want them sacrificing to him no more. Because they come out and do that, but they really what they was worshiping these other idols and images and everything else. And that's how we ended up in the predicament we in right now today. Okay?
So the priest is the priest like Catholics today and the Christians? Because you said at one point the Catholics made created the Christian way.
Yeah, the priest, but that wasn't Israelite priest. Esau came in, stole the land of Israel, and he imitated everything that we had. It's like just like Solomon built the temple and Zerubbabel built the temple. They Israelites, Herod came and built the temple. They duplicated. So just like we had a priesthood, they duplicated the priesthood, but they wicked. So they the ones concocted the church and Catholic Church and all that. They wicked priests. They priests, they're not priests by bloodline or lineage.
Yeah, royal family kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, but not Israelite royalty. Yeah,
But they're but the Esau royalty.
right. Yeah,
Okay.
right. Okay. Anybody else got anything else before we go? Questions, comments?
No, sir.
Okay. So I see everybody tomorrow for our Women's Advanced Bible Study. I'm gonna say shalom. I'll see y'all tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Shalom, shalom, everyone.
Shalom, shalom, family.
All right.
Hello.
Shalom, everyone.